I want to make you aware that it's not about the role that you play in or the position that you have or the title that you've been given. In leadership, it has to be more about who you are. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the It Matters podcast. Thank you for joining me once again on another episode. And you're joining the podcast that is all about leadership, personal growth, mindset. Basically, we're trying to help you be better. We want you to become better leaders. We want you to take these resources and go wherever you're at, wherever you're being called to lead. And we want you to do it well. And we want you to be mindful on how you're leading because it matters. And so I appreciate you you're joining me on this episode because today I want to talk to you about positional leadership. Now, I'm a pretty passionate and fired up about this because I am a strong believer that the position does not make the leader, but the leader makes the position. And I want to bring awareness to this because when we get caught up in this idea that it's all about the position, we start using the mindset that it's all about being a boss. It's all about being in charge. It's all about management. It's all about just having control. And I want to remind you that when it comes to leadership, it's always about inviting people into a journey, and for us to know how to handle these situations, but how to lead people well, how to take care of people, and empower them and make them better, so then the whole organization gets better. And so I've been thinking about this for a little while because there's been a few scenarios that I've seen over the years, and last week or so, something happened that it kind of reminded me of that. And there's just a specific leader in the city that I live in that is known. He would definitely have a high position and is well known and has a lot of influence. But it was very interesting that I've seen the interaction that when this person was out in public, he was very shut down, and it wasn't he looked like he was important, but he didn't want to connect or talk to anybody. He almost looked kind of angry, or he looked a little bit caught up in his position. And I know that I might be implying on the situation, and I know some of you may think, well, it sounds like you're kind of judging him. Well, I'm trying not to, okay? I'm trying not to, and I'm trying to realize that, hey, he could have had a hard day. There could have been things going on. But the important part here that I want you to catch is that sometimes there is leaders out there that get caught up in their position, and they think that they're super important, and they start counting, their awards, and they start thinking that it's all about me and forget the part that it's about we. And so I'm going to give you some pointers towards the end of this episode on how I think we could handle these type of scenarios better. But I just want you to make you aware. I want to make you aware that it's not about the role that you play in or the position that you have or the title that you've been given. In leadership, it has to be more about who you are and not where you're at and the role that you are occupying. And it's super important to look inward and see where our character's at, how we think about people, how we think about everything that we're doing. And it's important to shift our mindset on how we're going to lead people, because if we come in it with a boss mentality of I'm in charge, I'm the manager, well, I think then you're at the verge of potentially, as I heard it put once, that managers lead everybody the same, but leaders lead everybody different. Why is that true? Well, it's true because leadership involves people, and people are unpredictable. People are growing, some are not. Some are staying still. They bring their challenges, problems, they bring victories and different perspectives, and it creates a very interesting thing when we're leading people. And the fact is that leaders need to learn how people function, how they think, the mannerisms, the behaviors, and sometimes people need to be led different in order to be able to accomplish whatever we need to accomplish. And so I want to encourage all of you that have some leadership roles to think about leadership as an art and not just a science. Of course, there's systems, there's principles, there's values that are part of all this, but people need to be seen as growing individuals that we need to figure out how to guide and direct and lead well. And I want to, I guess, I want to make you think that leadership is a responsibility. It's a responsibility to add value, a responsibility to serve people, a responsibility to care for people, a responsibility to be kind. That we need to be the type of leaders that are approachable, that people can come to and talk to, and that we can listen. And out of that, we will seek wisdom and understanding and insight on how to deal with whatever's being proposed. Sometimes it'll be a challenge, sometimes it'll be something that could be good for us. And if we're able to, practice that art of being a people person, then we're going to be better leaders. Now, if you think that no, you can plow through life and just say, well, no, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, what I say goes. Well, it might work for a short time, but I assure you there is no longevity in what you're going to do, because people matter. And if you start manipulating, if you start taking advantage, if you start treating people like they're not people, you're going to end up seeing that nobody wants to work with you or for you. And then we have a problem. And it's just you're going to come across like a toxic leader. And so we want to become leaders that are life giving, that people love to be around. And like I said, that people see you as somebody that cares, and then they're gonna wanna they're gonna want to serve you in return and be able to do great things alongside you. And so I want you to think about that, because too many of us get caught up in this idea that we need to just show up and do what we're told, and we have to meet numbers, and we have to accomplish certain things. And yes, part of that is included in all this. But when we know how to lead people, you realize that if you take care of your people, that your people will take care of whatever it is that you're asking them to do. That could be a project, a business, whatever responsibility you have. And so we have to realize that how we take care of people is part of the ingredient for us to be successful. And what I mean by successful is we all have goals, we have dreams and things that we want to accomplish in our organizations, whether that's nonprofit or business or in life, whatever it is. There is things that we are trying to get through because, hey, we're trying to pay our bills, we're trying to grow a company, we're trying to fundraise, we're trying to do a lot of different things, and those are part of the things that we need to keep on mind. But people are part of it, whether that's people that are in your circles that you're working with, or even people that you're trying to reach out to. Maybe you're trying to connect or network, and you're trying to expand your influence. It's going to involve people. And if you want people, if you want to be a magnet of people, well, then you have to value people. And so that's just a thought that I really wanted to give, because I think we forget why we're doing what we're doing sometimes. If we realize that people are going to be are going to be part of everything we do moving forward, then we change our strategy, we change the way we look at that, and we realize that, hey, if I'm going to treat people better, then I'm going to have to make sure that I'm better and I'm learning the tools and I'm being equipped to know how to deal with people. So let me back up for a second. If you're a positional leader, and what I mean by that is somebody who has, worked hard to maybe move up the ladder, and you've been given responsibility over a team or people, yeah, you're important. I get it. but you have to remember how to treat people even when you're on or when you're off when you're on or off the position that you're in. And so for example, if you're going to be a great leader with people, we need to have boundaries. You're going to have boundaries, and that's one way that we can make sure that we don't make emotional decisions or circumstantial decisions. If you're out on your day off and you're somebody that people know about and that people may want to talk to you, instead of giving them a straight face or potentially being rude or unkind or not paying attention to them, as leaders, I want to challenge you to be better at being clear and being bold and saying, hey, you know what? I'm on a date with my wife, or I am spending time with my family, or actually right now I'm not in a place to be able to speak to you, but hey, great to see you. I'm going to connect with you in another time when I have a better availability, or, I'm in a better mindset. Unfortunately, today's not good. Sometimes, some leaders think like, well, I'll just ignore them, or I'll just act like they don't exist, or I won't acknowledge them, and that will be it. I think as leaders, we need to start being a little bit more bold in how we put our boundaries up. And I think that if we learn how to communicate, people will understand that. I think people would prefer that you communicate that, hey, right now is not a good time, than just ignore them and potentially risk the chance of being rude and unkind. And so be okay with having boundaries. If you're going to be a high level leader, if you're going to be a leader of influence and things are going on, hey, I get it. It's going to get busy. There's going to be things going on. So let's figure out how to have some boundaries. Boundaries where we, say, hey, in these time blocks, I don't have the capacity to do work or to talk to people. I'm spending time with family or whatever it is. You might even be spending time alone. It's okay to communicate that. I think when people realize that we need rest, when we need time on our own, we need to focus on other things, we actually lead people in that process, and we show them how they should handle those situations and how they can get better themselves while learning from you. And so don't be afraid to set boundaries when you're a leader that has responsibility over many or a lot. And I think that'll be a great thing to keep in mind. Remember, if you're going to be a leader that ends up um, adding value, a leader of influence, there's a whole idea, right? The position doesn't make the leader makes the position. If you want to make the position a great position, then you need to keep growing. You need to keep learning. That means that you have the choice. It's up to you whether this position is going to become one of importance, one that is of value, or if it's one that nobody cares about. You will bring value to that position. The position won't make you. And so you don't have to worry about a title. You don't have to worry about the specific role that you have. You're able to make that position, that role that you're in charge of, an amazing one, because it's based on your character, it's based on who you are and not what you do. And so that's the amazing part of when we become leaders that want to add value, leaders of value. We realize that we need to keep learning, we need to keep growing, and that is actually just part of the journey. And the reason we get to grow and the reason we get to learn is because people are always changing. See, leadership is the study of people and the art of leading people, and so it's always moving. There's always change. So we need to make sure we're keeping up with it, because as you've heard me say this many times, like where your business, where your organization, where your projects are going to be a year from now, you're not fully equipped to lead that a year from now. So you need to keep on growing and learning and keeping up with that so you can lead to the best of your ability. And in fact, your organization needs that leader so that they have vision and direction and know where they're supposed to go next. And so I want to encourage you that outside of having boundaries, have that growing mindset and make sure that you're equipping yourself and getting around the right people and around the right resources and material so that you can keep growing. I want you to also remember that it's always about people. It's always about people. I've already kind of said that, but I want to make sure that that's a point that's understood. Take care of your people. Get to know the people, get to know your people, get to know your team so you know what they expect out of you. So you know what they need. How are you supposed to equip them if you are behind closed doors and they're over there separated from you? What happens when you are so high and mighty in your position and they're down there and they don't think that they can approach you? Be a leader that has an open door policy and know when the right time it is to have it closed because you need to get work done. But make sure that you are being available. Make sure that you're asking questions. Make sure that you know your people so then that you can serve them. I mean, I've said this multiple times. I'll say it again. As a leader, your job is to serve your people, not the other way around. Too many people out there, bosses, managers, people that are in charge, supervisors, whatever, they think that the people are there to work for you. I want to shift that mindset. I want to shift that paradigm and tell you that you're there to work for your people. If you have troubles with that, then I want you to take a pause, shake your head a little bit, and start really growing a little bit and learning that, hey, if you decide to take advantage of people, walk over people, overwork people, mishandle people, abuse people, you're not going to have people to lead, and you're not going to have a position that allows you to lead people. That is just the reality. And I want to really be strong on this point because I'm just kind of tired of how many people we see out there that are not prioritizing or not realizing the importance of this. And so if you have been given the responsibility to be a leader over people, to have people under your care, then you need to start being a better steward and caring for people so then that everybody can win in that. As you grow, as they grow and you add value to them, you will be a better leader because of it. And it just comes full circle. And then you have an amazing team, a team of excellence, a team of champions, a team of high performers that end up doing things that you couldn't even ever imagine. And that's why, that quote, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. We can laugh those quotes off and be like, oh, yeah. No, but the reality is that it's true. You want to get some dreams accomplished and get some things done in life, in whatever you're doing. Learn how to work with people, learn how to connect, learn how to love on people, how to care for them and enjoy being around them. And then learn the boundaries within that and saying, okay, well, I need some rest. Maybe you do need to have some solitude. Maybe you need to, have a refresher and do things and do retreats that will add value to you. But in that process, when you do those kind of things and you keep learning, then you have the energy and then you have the capacity to give. You can't give what you don't have. And so that's why it's important for leaders to be mindful of what gives them energy, what sucks energy out of them, what brings them alive, what they need to do to grow, what are the podcasts that they're listening to, what are the books they're reading, who are the people that they're hanging out with, who are their mentors, their coaches. All that is super valuable because that is what makes you a better leader. And so I hope this episode encourages you. I just wanted to get to the point. We all will end up exercising positions. We're going to be in positional leadership, but that's not where it ends. It might start there, but we need to shift our minds very quickly and realize that we're leaders that make the position, and the position doesn't make the leader. And so then we learn how to lead people well. We learn how to walk with them in the challenges and the good times. And man, it's going to be an amazing journey for you and the things that you're going to accomplish with your team. And so I hope this encourages you. Please share this episode, comment on it, ask some questions, like it, give it to somebody that needs to hear this, and really, really pause and reflect on what I said. And don't just listen to this and just move along because you might think, oh, I already got it figured out. Well, make sure that it's an ongoing thing, because here we're trying to help you be better so you have the tools and the resources to lead in whatever arena you're leading in, because we believe around here it's a win-win when the leader leads well. and then we can all win and have a giant impact in the world. I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.